What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Harry the Horse Barbecue, and today we're making some Leroy & Lewis inspired honey mustard ribs. That's right, we're going Leroy & Lewis mustard barbecue sauce on some spare ribs today. This may be the new go-to spare rib. Let's get it.
Harry the Horse Barbecue.
Now, if you think about Carolina-style barbecue, a mustard sauce is a staple when it comes to that style of barbecue. Mustard barbecue sauces have been gaining popularity for a while now, and I've never tried nor made a mustard-based barbecue sauce before. Now, Leroy & Lewis is pretty well known for their mustard barbecue sauce, where Evan Leroy of Leroy & Lewis Barbecue has openly admitted that they sort of borrowed this method and style of sauce from the Salt Lick. I'll link the Leroy & Lewis mustard barbecue sauce video here so y'all can check it out. But they kept making this mustard barbecue sauce and they were wondering why it wasn't tasting as good as the Salt Licks, and they figured that oil was the main ingredient. Now, in that mustard barbecue sauce video by Leroy & Lewis, they make a massive batch of barbecue sauce. They also don't tell you the exact amounts and ingredients that go into that sauce. I found this article that claims to be written by Evan Leroy himself, where he outlines the exact amounts and ingredients that is scaled down to a more manageable size portion of barbecue sauce. We're gonna go with that barbecue sauce recipe today. We're gonna throw it on some beautiful Texas style spare ribs, and we're gonna hopefully have some beautiful mustard ribs at the end of the day. So in order to make these mustard barbecue sauce slathered ribs, we gotta go shopping for some spare ribs. Let's go. These look like some pretty good spare ribs. Now, I was waltzing through my local grocery store, not even looking for ribs, and I happened upon these beauties. I mean, these look pretty darn good for grocery store spare ribs. And you know my rule when cooking spare ribs, never just cook one rack, we gotta cook at least two. So these bad boys are looking great. We're gonna season these with some Diamond Kosher salt. Since it's a Leroy & Lewis style, we gotta go with the Chud's Barbecue 16 Mesh Black Pepper. On sale now at shopchuds.com. And lastly, I actually have this mustard-based rub, which is going to add to that honey mustard flavor of these ribs. So enough horsing around, let's get these ribs out of the pack. Here we have some full spares. I love working with full spares. I love breaking them down. For me, that is the go-to rib. Big old skirt. Give it a flip. All right, I just took off a little end bone there, but this rack of spares is looking really nice. Let's rinse and repeat with the second rack. Hey. These spare ribs are trimmed up, looking really good. I'm just gonna score the back of this membrane quite quickly. To add to the mustard theme, our binder is gonna be Q-Glue. Q-Glue is a mustard-based binder that's got a little more flavor than mustard, so I thought I'd start with that. Get that mixed around. Go down with some kosher salt. Some 16 mesh black pepper. Honey mustard rub. That looks pretty good. Here, our flip around. Just get it all up on there. Our second rack. Kosher salt. 16 mesh. Nice, even yet liberal coating all the way across. Honey mustard rub. Looking good. Flip around. You don't want to go too heavy with any of these ingredients, but you don't want to skimp on them, that's for sure. These ribs are looking beautiful, and for the first time ever, I think we want to taste the mustard at the end of a long barbecue cook. These ribs are all seasoned up with that mustard flavor, and they're ready for the cooker. So let's go fire up the cooker. right, y'all, you can see how smoky this cooker is, and sometimes what I like to do with ribs, I like to put them on as soon as I throw logs on the fire, because ribs are a thinner piece of meat and they're on the cooker for a shorter period of time. Putting those ribs on right as we heat up the cooker will build some nice, beautiful, smoky flavor on those ribs, and that's what we're after. Let's go get those mustard ribs and throw them on. Here we go. Some Leroy and Lewis style mustard ribs coming at you. Let's get them on. All right, y'all, we're gonna be rocking temps anywhere between 225 and 250 for the entirety of this cook. Build some nice smoky flavor on these ribs, flip them over. We're gonna spritz with some pickle juice, and then we're going to slather in a homemade mustard barbecue sauce, Leroy and Lewis style. We're gonna let these get some smoke on them. Let's close it down. Boom. Shakalaka. All right, y'all, about 2.5 hours in on these mustard ribs. Let's open it up and take a look and see how they're rocking. Up and under. Ooh, they're looking good. Nice and fatty, glistening, a little dry on top. Let's take you in for a look. These ribs are looking really good, really dry on top, but very moist around the edges. All that fat is starting to render out. And I thought, what better spritz than just straight up pickle juice? Mustard, pickles, they go together. That color is looking phenomenal. All right, that's looking good. We're gonna give them a flip over. Start to crisp up this backside. All right, we'll let it rock like this for about an hour. Come back and give them a flip. All right, about 4 hours in on these ribs. Let's take a look. Ooh, that looks nice. Let's spritz this backside one more time with some pickle juice. Oh yeah. But man, the color's looking great. It's not too dark because we've been running that 225, 250 temp the entire time. I'm gonna let these rock out probably for the next hour or so. Continue to build that color, that nice bark on the outside. Just one more little shower for these ribbies. We're gonna probably maintain temps closer to 250 so we can get these ribs nice and tender. While we're maintaining those temps, let's go inside and make that Leroy and Lewis mustard barbecue sauce. That sounds good. Let's get it. Boom. The exact amounts and ingredients for this Leroy and Lewis mustard barbecue sauce will be placed in the description down below, and I'll link the article where I found all of these ingredients as well, so y'all can check it out for yourselves. But this is gonna start with apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, some sugar, granulated garlic, coarse black pepper, cumin. All right, let's take this to the stove and simmer it down. While our spice mixture is simmering away, let's get together some other ingredients. Our mustard, some Frank's Red Hot. Now we have to somehow immersion blend our mustard and hot sauce with our spice mixture. Here we go. Nope, we're gonna need a bigger container. We are gonna have to do this ever so gently. Here goes nothing. Okay, this is looking great. All we gotta do is now immersion blend this mixture with a couple cups of oil and a little bit of xanthan gum, and we are all set with our mustard barbecue sauce. Let's get it. We're gonna start with oil and the xanthan gum. All right, 2 cups of oil. A gram of xanthan gum. Last step, I'm gonna pour slowly and mix with the immersion blender. And there you have it, our Leroy and Lewis style mustard barbecue sauce. That is sweet, tangy, mustardy, and flavorful from all those spices. Man, this makes a bunch of sauce too, so you can have this on hand. You gotta give this a shot. We're gonna let this cool down, transfer it to some mason jars, then we're gonna sauce our ribs with it. Yeah, that went well. Well, after that disaster, I got about 2 mason jars full of sauce, plus I still have some left over that we're gonna go mop those ribs with right now. All right, these ribs are getting Probably about as dark as I want to get them, so we're gonna hit them with a little spray. Hit them with a little bit of this gorgeous mustard sauce. Just paint it right on there. Whew, that's looking good. All right, we're gonna let that tack on for maybe about 15-30 minutes. Then we'll bring them in to wrap them up. Then back on the cooker until they're nice and tender. Close it down. All right, y'all, these honey mustard ribs are all ready to go. So full disclosure, I wrapped up this cook rather late last night, and I decided to give these ribs an overnight rest, which is not something I've ever really done with ribs. Let's get them unwrapped. Oh yeah. All right, let's slice into these Leroy and Lewis style mustard ribs. Not too shabby on that cook. Oh man, they're tender, but they're still holding together. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, that pork is popping. Man, it doesn't taste like mustard, but it's got a really untraditional Texas style pork rib flavor, which makes it super unique and super savory and tasty. Nice little sauce on the outside. Man, this is a great balance between a Texas style spare rib and a new take on a spare rib. Okay. Dip, 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 dip. Oh yeah, that's where it's at. Oh man, you know, that mustard sauce pairs perfectly with these spares. We layered mustard flavor through and through, starting with that Q glue, that honey mustard dry rub. We added on that pickle spritz, and then a base in that mustard barbecue sauce, and then to finish off, a little mustard barbecue sauce to dip. That to me is still perfect. These pork spare ribs are not horsing around. Tender, juicy, got that mustard flavor through and through. This is killer. These Leroy and Lewis mustard barbecue sauce ribs are so good, I just can't stop. Just a little drag through that sauce. Oh yeah, that's tender. Shout out Leroy and Lewis for this mustard barbecue sauce. Evan Leroy, thank you for making that possible and putting that out there. It's just over with these spare ribs. Ain't nothing wrong with that rib. Hello. You got these ribs all slathered in some mustard. And these ribs are the word. Slathered in that mustard. Yeah, that flavor's absurd. Try this out yourself if you're a barbecue nerd. Hello. Just a little dabble, do ya? OMGZ, that is good. Make sure you give this one a shot. You'll be glad you did. Thank you all for tuning in to Harry the Horse Barbecue. I really appreciate you checking out this video. If you haven't experimented with rib flavor profiles, this is a great starting point because mustard is sort of ubiquitous in the world of barbecue. You know we got that crispy bark on the outside of these pork spare ribs, so leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel below. I know you want to do it and it helps me out, so hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below if you've tried mustard barbecue sauces, specifically the Leroy and Lewis style mustard barbecue sauce. Make sure you hit that notification button so you get notified every time we're posting new content, and you can follow me on Instagram at Harry the Horse Barbecue. Tag me so I can see what y'all are cooking because it really inspires me to get outside and cook. And with that being said, there's only one more thing, y'all. This one is going straight to the horse's mouth. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace! Oh yeah.